the obstacles that I encounter in my desperate search for friends of a feather. The title of my message is Why I Have So Few Friends. I'm asking for 8 to 10 minutes on this because I'm a blabbermouth. First, let me begin with a disclaimer. This monologue is for entertainment purposes only. Any personalities described in this may or may not be real. I've chosen this topic today, my fellow Toastmasters, why I have so few friends, because I am in need of your help. You see, since my retirement in 2012, I find I have more time on my hands than I do friends. So in an effort to remedy this situation, this is where the problem is coming in. As I acquaint you with the details of my dilemma, perhaps you will have a suggestion. My process for friend selection begins with some basic qualifiers: integrity, purpose, passion, a spiritual hunger, and of course, a good nature. To this end, there is no problem. There is a plethora of personalities that meet this criteria. The difficulty arises during the secondary screening process, whereby the idiosyncrasies and quirks of people begin to surface. The deal breakers, if you will. And here is where the candidates are eliminated in alarming numbers. Is it me, I ask? Have I become shallow and intolerant of differences? Or has it become a sudden upswing in extremism within our culture? In my defense, I must add that I am a primarily visual person, and too many faux pas in this area disturb and distract me in a relationship and cause me to pull back. Let me give you one such example. A newly acquired friend and I decide to share lunch together for the first time, and all goes well until the food arrives, at which time she matter-of-factly produces from her handbag a huge bib made of reflective metallic. I try to ignore this and continue the conversation, but I am unable to pull it off. I was totally embarrassed to be seen with her. So unfortunately for the both of us, we parted ways. As far as I know, she's still out there somewhere flashing encoded messages into outer space. Now let me acquaint you with a short list of some of the other objectionable practices that I find in close personal friends. Let's address the elephant in the room. Pajamas and slippers worn as public attire. The first time that I seen this, I couldn't believe my eyes. Both men and women on streets and in stores slopping around in the very clothes they slept in. I mean, how lazy can you be? My dear sister-in-law, a woman in her mid-40s, does this. And when I inquired as to why, she simply and casually remarked, because it's comfortable. Well, it's not comfortable to look at. And while we're on the subject, what about the ongoing die-hard fashion of young men wearing low-ride pants? You know, when we were in school, we made fun. I see England, I see France, I see somebody's underpants. Well, obviously they haven't heard this, because evidently it has become desirable now to display your unmentionables in public. It's a major fashion statement. Not only does it appear as though they have received a major wedgie, but they are forced to walk with their legs apart so that their pants do not pool around their ankles. All right. Another issue, mottled hair color of a totally unnatural color, shade. Pink, green, purple. Halloween, October 31st. Tattoos on women. Too many, too large, too tribal. For me, it looks like graffiti. I mean, it looks like someone's taken a permanent marker and scribbled all over their body. I seen a woman recently who had what's called a sleeve, which is totally covered. One arm was clean and natural, and the other one was totally tattooed. As she was approaching me, it looked as though she had gangrene. All right, one of my favorite peeves, OLP, Old Lady Perfume. The shelf life of perfume is 3 to 5 years, if stored properly. When the scent is no longer appealing, it's gone bad and it's time to throw it out. Some of our dear senior ladies have perfume that dates back to the 1950s. And along with the fact that our olfactory nerves tend to diminish with age, this expired potion is liberally applied. One Sunday in church, I literally had to change my seat 3 times to avoid the air pollution in my personal space. Another issue, skin tight or skimpy clothing on overweight women. I care not to view the rolling hills of your personal landscape. Kindly learn to drape yourself attractively. And just because you can get it on doesn't mean it fits. Yes. And then there's the issue, I cannot pass this over, of halitosis, or poor oral hygiene. I have one friend who reeks of garlic, and as I speak with her, I find myself backing up. She comes forward. Finally, I breached the obvious question. Why don't you take your doggone garlic pill in the evening instead of first thing in the morning? Finally, and perhaps the most ridiculous of all feminine attire, the stiletto heel. More specifically, the platform stiletto heel, as is displayed here in case you're not familiar with this species. A recent survey indicated that 62% of American women wear 2-inch heels or greater on a regular basis. It is thought to give the illusion of a longer, slimmer leg. But there is a, how do I want to say this? There's a limit. Okay. A recent survey indicates a recent survey indicates that 62% of American women wear these 2-inch heel or greater on a regular basis. I think I already repeated that. I'm sorry. Okay. Incidentally, in a 10-year period from 2002 until 2012, 123,355 women were treated in emergencies for falls associated with wearing these monstrosities. And there you have it, my friends. The problems that I encounter in my search for friends. So after having heard my remarks, I wonder what your advice would be. Perhaps we should discuss this over lunch sometime. But before we do, kindly refresh your memory with the objections I have illuminated in this exposition, lest you too may become an unfortunate victim of my next rant. Thank you.